How are you dealing with the new guest experience now from check-in to checkout? Because it must be very different. We're seeing it here that it's totally not the same experience anymore. So how are you dealing with this with your properties?
The experience is very somehow from the outside clinical. So you have the employees, the associates walking with masks. We have a lot of disinfection sprays, and on the cost side, we spend about $8 to $10 per key and per room on extra cost. However, the understanding of the customers and clients in our hotels is very well. So there's fully understandable. I think security is the most important thing. So for us, securing our associates and the guests is our guiding principle. And there is a total understanding. Having breakfast is a different experience. Buffets are not allowed. Open food is not allowed. So we go back to in the 80s, introduced packaged butter and packaged jam and packaged cheeses, which is quite unusual, but that's the only way how to do it. And also in the hotel rooms, there's clutter-free now. So we don't have any shampoo standing around and no papers and no magazines. So a totally different experience.
Are you doing the same for all your brands, or is it more for different for every category of hotel that you have?
It's easier in the economic brands. So like Jazz in the City and Sleep, we have contactless check-in already. You check in a computer machine, which is much easier. But obviously, credit card procedures, Apple Pay, are now sort of an ongoing situation. But in the luxury environment where personal contact is more important, especially in the restaurant business, there is the biggest change in the experience. The associates are not really allowed to talk to guests and to advise them and talk about the menu and wines. So it's a very short conversation distance experience.
You were talking about social distancing, and that obviously is very a big part of our daily conversations with groups right now. How are you dealing with this for probably maybe not now, but maybe more in the fall when you are allowed to hopefully have groups of 200-300? How are you dealing with your largest ballroom space compared to room to meeting space ratio? Because we've had this conversation with many times in the past that it's always, you have to have a certain amount of rooms for your amount of meeting space, but now you need a lot more meeting space, but for the same amount of rooms. Are you seeing that you need to be a lot more flexible with your groups now that you're looking at maybe the short term?
The restrictions are even worse because in some states we can only take up to 60% occupancy. So if you have 500 rooms, you can only occupy 200 to 300. And obviously, then you need partner hotels where the guests are staying. And then the ballroom occupancy is cut in half at the moment. And as I mentioned before, much more difficult is the coffee space. And, lunch happens usually in lunch boxes, and you really have to go outside where you have fresh air because you can't gather in the space.
Until next time on the HMI Insights, thanks for watching.